Here, not only at Warwick Valley High School, but all over America, men, women, and children are of course familiar with American football. A very physical, fast-paced, and hard-hitting game that catches the attention of fans with its intensity and passion from its players. But outside of America, there's a sport that attracts fans with the same physicality and intensity that football has. My name is Ben Geiber, your host for Rugby with Ruggers. Joining us today, we have a very special guest, James Buckley, one of the coaches for Highlander Rugby, located here in Warwick. Coach, how are you doing today?
Good. Thanks, Ben. Great to be here. So looking forward to, today's little interview session.
Talking about your favorite sport? Excited?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you were here for when the intro, you heard the whole thing. Do you agree that people outside of America would probably watch rugby for the same reason why we watch football here in America?
Well, outside of America, the main sort of centres for rugby are in the Southern Hemisphere, South Africa, which is where I'm from, New Zealand and Australia. Obviously, it's huge. Argentina in South America, it's massive. And in Europe, the British Isles, France, Spain, Italy, places like that. Mm-hmm. You know, they have a lot of other sports, but rugby in those particular centres is where it's kind of centred and really popular.
Mm-hmm. You played youth rugby, right, over in your country, right?
Yeah, I mean, when I grew up as a kid in South Africa, we didn't have soccer or anything like that at school. Everybody played rugby. It was really the only sport available.
That's crazy.
In winter time, you know. So it was cricket in summer and rugby at winter. Yeah, we started playing at 3, 4, 5 years old.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's crazy. Compared to here, it's like you rarely ever get like people really talking about rugby, right?
Yeah,
I talked to a couple guys, and they're like so confused on what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's becoming more popular for sure. You know, a lot of high schools have clubs, not within the high school itself, but that kind of age group. Mm-hmm. And most of the colleges that I've come across have programs. At some sort of level.
Yeah, we have a lot of guys on our team who've gone to college for rugby, right?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of guys that have gone to play at, Clemson and Brown and a lot of other colleges. So
it's good for colleges, right?
It's good for colleges and it's good for the guys. The
sooner
they start playing, the sooner they'll get up to speed and they'll slot into it a whole lot easier when they, get into the more senior programs.
Yeah. So how long have you been coaching for Highlander Rugby?
I think this is my 3rd or 4th year. I basically started when my own son was playing. He came here to Warwick High School, mm-hmm. and Brian, he was here, graduated a couple of years ago. So so I started when he joined the club and been here ever since.
All right. So right now, I'd like us to start the show, arguably a good start. South Africa winning the 2023 French World Cup versus New Zealand. On the screen right there. So let's get that video rolling up.
It's over! South Africa are back-to-back Rugby World Cup champions. They stand alone with a 4th Webb Ellis Cup.
So Coach, what were the thoughts going inside your head when you were watching this, I assume live, right?
Yeah, I was watching it. Well, I wasn't, obviously at the game.
Yeah.
I have attended a few World Cups in the past, but not last year. It was very special. We're the only country that have won it 4 times now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If New Zealand had won on that particular day, they would have been the only team that had won it 4 times. So,
Battle of the Greats, right?
Battle of the Greats, but there's a lot of fabulous teams out there, that could have gone all the way. But we had a little bit of luck, as everyone has to have. But it's been a tough old road for South Africa rugby over the last 30 odd years, but we are where we are today, and hopefully we can keep plugging.
Yeah, I was a little bit sad when they won, to be honest. I would have preferred New Zealand won.
I know you're a New Zealand fan, Ben, but You should come across to the side.
I should come over to the bad side, right? I don't think so. Not anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah, but you think you could have ever gone pro?
No, I wasn't that good. No,
What?
no. I mean, you have to be exceptionally talented. Having said that, you never know until you give it a go. So, everybody that picks up a ball and gets started, you just got to give it your best shot, and you might be able to go all the way. But there's a whole lot of different levels of rugby, from junior level right up to professional, and at every level there's an opportunity for making friends that will last you for a lifetime. And if you're a player or played at any level, you can go to any country, go to a club, just to hang out or play or whatever, and you will be welcomed with open arms. It's a real brotherhood and a very welcoming environment in any club in the world. I can guarantee you that, like no sport I've ever come across.
Yes.
So that's something to, really sort of take home and think about.
So would you think that like soccer is it's definitely more popular than rugby, right?
For
all
sure.
around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, soccer is worldwide probably the global sport.
Yeah, like one of the main sports, like it's considered the world sport.
Definitely, yeah.
I'd say maybe a little bit of the boring sport,
Yeah, no, look, I mean, I struggle to watch a full game myself, but it's massive, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I used to be a soccer fan, but then
yeah.
it was just the fans. I couldn't get over it.
This is your first year playing rugby, right?
This is my first year playing rugby, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the challenge that we have at Highlanders is, it's not part of the school program, so we have to rely on the guys coming to play, and we always sort of looking for additional players. We always need more players, and then every three or 4 years when the guys graduate, we have to rely on the guys coming up from the lower ages, which is great, but we just need to try and encourage that grassroots membership of the club so that we get that constant flow of players coming in and out.
Yeah, that was never a problem in South Africa, though. That was part of the school, right? And where the school you went to was part of the rugby was also part of the school?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So how would you compare? So you've been here for 3 to 4 years coaching for Highlander, right?
Yeah.
How would you compare like the sport and the players from here, from what you've seen, to like what you've seen back then in school rugby?
Well, I mean, over there it's obviously ingrained. It's the national sport. You start playing at a very young age, and the coaches there are all, been playing all their lives. A lot of them are ex-semi-pro or pro. We're very lucky actually here in Warwick to have a couple of excellent coaches, not including myself, but we've got a guy, Will Brazier, who was on the USA Eagles team, and he also coached at West Point, and a couple of other guys that have coached and played at college level and men's rugby and the various state levels. Yeah. So we do have a strong coaching setup. And the coaching over here in the US is getting better and better as the sport spreads, So it's got a little ways to go, but American rugby is part of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see it develop and go forward in leaps and bounds in the years to come. I hope so.
Also, right now, I'd like us to take a look at a clip of a professional rugby match and give our thoughts to the viewers to see what they think, right?
Sure.
All right, so let's show them one of the videos. Coach, from what you just saw in that clip, could you tell me what was going on? Those are 2 different clips, but the main focus on what that was.
Yeah, I mean, it's very different from American football in that it's not a series of plays. Rugby basically, once the ball is in play, it continues until there's either a foul or a breakdown in play, or the ball goes out of bounds. But oftentimes the play can continue for 4, 8, 10 minutes at a time without any break.
Yeah.
So it's pretty exhausting.
What happened there during the clip? The main focus was over lineouts, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's a throw in, a lineout. both teams line up, and whoever sort of picks the ball out of the air passes it either to their backs or keeps it within the forwards.
Yeah.
And you try to get across the try line.
I've shown that to so many people, and they always think it's so weird because they think it's like cheerleading, but like there's so much more going on.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you look at other aspects and phases of play, they'll see that it's nothing like cheerleading.
No, nothing, right?
It's a very physical, full-on contact sport. You can obviously see there's no protective gear, no pads or helmets. So, it's not for the faint-hearted, but it's relatively safe. You know?
Yeah, and you can notice in a lot in their builds, there was definitely some guys who had mountain necks.
Yeah.
And there were some guys who were just skinny, right?
Right. So you're basically broken up into two different sets of players. The forwards, who are the really big, heavy artillery type guys.
That's me, everybody.
Then
me.
as a forward in training.
All right. So, Mr. Buckley, I would love to continue on discussing about the sport, but we'll have to be right back with Rugby with Ruggers after this commercial break.
Sure. Great.
Listen. You're more than your successes. You're more than your failures.
Everything you got.
You got this.
You're the work.
All right, dig deep.
It's dirty work. Work that hurts. Work that defines you. It's that fire that burns inside you.
One more.
Be you. It's always been you. You're the work. You want that smoke? Give him that body.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Rugby with Ruggers. All right, Coach, how are we doing?
Doing well.
Ready to keep talking?
Sure.
Keep yapping.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should also talk about, right, for this show, we should also talk about the balls. Here, you grab that one, right?
Yeah.
Come on. So, big difference in what people are usually used to than the casual American football, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a similar sort of shape, but a little bit rounder.
Yeah, of course.
And not as pointed on the ends, but otherwise, similar material. It's got the little dimples on it to help with grip and all that kind of good stuff in the wet.
Mm-hmm.
But comes in a couple of different sizes for junior and senior level. But
So, Coach, if you were coaching a little boy, right? Let's say you're coaching me, right? I'm holding the ball like this, right?
Yeah.
What's the proper way to hold the ball while in the rugby, right? While mid game, your offense.
Well, I mean, if you're mid-game and you're sort of charging along with the ball, you hold onto that thing as tight as possible under your arm,
And you
both
pray.
hands.
And you pray.
Yeah, kind of like a running back in football, you know.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if you're getting ready to pass it or whatever, you hold it sort of side on like this, and there are a couple of different ways to pass. But
Yeah.
don't
That
need
ball
one.
isn't really the greatest ball, huh? Must
Well,
be because it's South Africa, right?
Personally, I
Springboks.
like this ball. It's got the Springbok on it, you know. Doesn't say world champions, but perhaps it should.
Nah, I don't think it should, really.
I know you're an All Black fan.
And I have the Argentinian ball. Argentina, the best rugby team in South America, right?
By far, yeah.
By far?
They've come a long way in the last 30, 40 years, and they've got a fabulous program down there, and they're real force of rugby in the world.
Yeah. I've been hearing that Chile has been getting a lot better, though, right?
Who?
Chile.
Chile, yeah.
Chile. Chile.
Sorry, Chile, yeah. Didn't quite get your pronunciation there. I'm sure you're struggling with mine as well. But yeah, no, they're coming along. They've got some good clubs and good programs. So, hopefully in the next few years, we'll see them breaking through into the sort of World Cup qualifiers and stuff like that.
All right. I'd also like to talk about another video that's about to be playing very soon, and we're going to explain it to the viewers, all right?
Sure.
All right, you got to find the main focus though, all right? Let's play the video.
Okay.
Martin Landajo, the halfback, his father toured here with the Pumas back in 1979. And a good scrum too from the Pumas, pushing the All Blacks back over halfway. And the arm goes out from the referee. Well, that will boost the spirits of the Pumas. So still 15-10. 2 tries to 1. And the Pumas looking to drive their scrum. Taken off the back by Leguizamon. And he runs. How
Jesus Christ, that was a lot going on there, right?
Yeah, scrums are a very big part of the game. Whenever there's a sort of breakdown or an infringement, oftentimes you start the game again with a scrum. And that's where the big boys are, as you can see, 8 on each side. They pack down into the scrum, and it's actually a pretty technical kind of setup. A lot going on. The ball comes out to the scrum half, down the back line, but there's a lot of strength, a lot of power in those scrums, and all sorts of things going on that you don't necessarily see from the outside. So you've been in plenty of scrums so far, so you kind of get it.
I have been in a couple of scrums. They are hard. It's difficult to manage sometimes, because sometimes it's like you get a big guy. There's like different weights, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause we'll be going this way, we'll be going that way.
Yeah.
There's different ways, but
yeah, the ref has to, take strong control there, because, as you say, there's 8 really big, strong guys. So he sets it up and sets it down and makes sure that everything is properly ready to go before they actually engage and start pushing.
we should probably talk about how, like, what's the reason for the scrum, right? Like the reason for what's the purpose of it, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
what's going on in every little action.
Yeah, the purpose of the scrum is to restart the game from a knock-on or an accidental offside or any other breakdown in the game where the game comes to a stop.
Yeah.
You either start with a line-out or a scrum.
Yeah, and it's only the forwards too, right?
Right, it's just the forwards in the scrum.
The backs just sit there and look pretty, right?
Well, I personally was a back, so
I guess you just also sat there and looked pretty, right?
But the forwards are the guys that end up with the cauliflower ears and the sort of thickened eyebrows and that, kind of like yourself. So if you want to keep your good looks, you're a back, and if you want to sort of get stuck in, you're a forward. But no, it's the scrums are pretty intense places, but well controlled. So again, not a huge chance of injury, but
yeah,
it gets pretty rough in there sometimes, for sure.
Oh no, definitely.
Yeah.
I also like to talk about some of the positions of rugby, right? I also have a graphic ready for us.
Yeah.
Talk about some of probably the important roles of rugby. So here first we got, for me, I put props because I myself am a prop. Obviously that's on number 1.
Mm-hmm.
We got number 8. We got a scrum half, a hooker, and a second row. So let's talk about props, right?
Right.
Let's talk about me.
I know it's your favorite subject, so why not?
Let's talk about it. So,
yeah.
So what are like props, right? What do you think, like, out of all of them, do you really think they're the important one, in my opinion? Because I think they're the most important.
Listen, I always say that every person that's on the field,
yeah,
and part of the team is as important.
As
each
important.
Other,
But I'm saying, like,
I'm not a great one for MVPs and all this kind of stuff. Every guy has his input there, Yes, props are important. They're in the front row of the scrum.
Yeah.
They're usually bigger guys because they've got to hold the whole thing up. But they're not the fastest guys. They sort of have to go from position to position on the field. So you've still got to be pretty fit. But the backs are typically faster.
Yeah.
Second row comes right behind the props and the hooker.
Mm-hmm.
And then the scrum half is behind the scrum, and he kind of links up the forwards with the backs.
Brock, but that was some impressive play there, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's where you score, right? They send it down the back line, the guy takes it across the try line, which is the score line, and you have to put it down on the ground, which
Flat.
is different from football.
Yeah,
with downward
normally
pressure.
you just like throw it up, do a celebration.
Right.
That's all you
But
do.
there you have to take it across and actually make contact with the ground. But that's exactly a good demonstration of backline play
For a backline,
into
right?
a score. Yeah.
But let's talk about how a ruck would work, right? So a ruck, you're getting tackled, you got the ball, and you're down, right? There's two people up, right?
Yeah.
So first, what is it? The first guy who gets on the defense, right, to set up the line. What do they call it? It's the
Well, I mean, it's you get the gate and the post, and basically
Post,
you
yeah.
have to control the ball, go over the guy on the ground, and then set up a ruck with your forwards and distribute to the back line from there. Yeah.
All right. I'd like to keep talking more continuously about rugby, but unfortunately we got another commercial break, so
No, that's
I
fine.
guess we got to get to it. We'll see you
Yeah.
guys later.
Come in, guys! 大切なことは前に向かっていくことだ。
Jugando con orgullo. Lo más importante.
Just enjoy yourself.
Show them who you are.
I'm loud.
I'm shy. Je veux le ballon.
I want to tackle.
I'm unflappable. I'm unstoppable. I move like a rocket. I move like a ballerina. I hardly move at all. Aim short.
I'm tall.
I'm stronger than I look. You're done too. I don't give an inch. No me arendo mai. I always turn up. Well played.
I never want to stop.
It's such a great ad. Welcome back, everyone, to Rugby with Ruggers. I'm Ben Guyver. I'm so glad we could see ads. That was a wonderful ad. That was beautiful.
Yeah, no, it was great. You get an idea of the youngsters playing and how they can get into it as well.
Yeah, no.
By the way, I'll just add that we also have a girls team here in Warwick.
We
so-
do. I was actually going to add that at the end because I just
Okay.
noticed, I'm like, oh yeah, the girls are playing. But like, yeah, I was going to mention that, but
Yeah, yeah,
you mentioned it first. We do have a girls team, everybody. So if you want to play, please come by.
yeah,
But we definitely saw. I definitely saw like some kids in that commercial, right?
Yeah.
There was Brandon Vasulo. I definitely saw Brandon Vasulo as the big kid.
yeah, yeah. He's a big lad. I think he's the biggest guy on our team right now. So yeah, you see some sort of familiar character types as
Yeah.
they grow up.
So this video should be right, but I also have another video that I also want us to talk about. So let's bring it on to the next clip.
With a rolling ball, Marks at the back. They'd love another penalty. Still with the box big men. They've taken it 20 now. Marks patient at the back. Still they come. Did Japan concede? They're getting closer and closer, Marks. Still going, now Marks to declare. It is absolute precision. It's surgical.
All right. That clip was kind of lame because it was South Africa. I didn't even notice that when bringing in the clips. Shouldn't have done that. But what was going on there, Coach?
Yeah, so that's a good example of when you've got a very powerful set of forwards, or a pack as we call them in the game, who are far more dominant than the other sort of forward pack, and they just keep the ball within the group, and they push the other opposing pack further and further and further back, and there's nothing the guys can do about it without infringing and giving away a penalty. So, as you could see there, they speeded the film up and they made 30, 40 meters without actually distributing the ball out at all until at the very end, when one of them broke away and passed it out to the scrum half, who ended up scoring. So that's a good example of just how effective a dominant pack of forwards can be.
Yeah. All right. Well, the game of rugby is a sport of passion, skill, physicality, and most importantly, teamwork. And rugby has many ways of attracting fans and players, but the combination of all its aspects make rugby an amazing sport for everyone. Best described as a game for everyone, but not for everyone.